Welcome to Spagtastic. In this lesson we are going to be learning about using inverted commas and additional punctuation. This is a level 4 skill. We will begin by thinking about what inverted commas are. Inverted commas, which are also known as speech marks, are punctuation marks that show the reader where direct speech begins and ends. They look like this. What is direct speech? Direct speech is the exact words that are spoken in a sentence, and this speech is surrounded by inverted commas. Let's look at some examples of using inverted commas and adding additional punctuation to make the sentence correct. In the sentence, "Can we have a pet?" asks Freddie. Freddie is talking, and the actual words he says are, "Can we have a pet?" So these are the words that go inside the inverted commas. The inverted commas start before the word can, and they end after the word pet. Can we have a pet is a question, so we need to include a question mark before we close the inverted commas. The reader needs to know who is speaking, so that is why we include the reported clause, asked Freddie. We can move the reported clause in speech from the start to the end of a sentence. Let's look at some examples. In the first sentence, Mrs. Smith said, "Get your pencil case out." You can see that the reported clause, Mrs. Smith said, goes before the speech. You will notice that there is a comma to separate the reported clause from the speech and also a full stop at the end of the sentence before the inverted commas close. In the next example, "Get your pencil case out," said Mrs. Smith. The reported clause, said Mrs. Smith, is after the speech. You can see that there is a comma at the end of the speech to separate the speech from the reported clause and a full stop at the end of a sentence. You will also notice inverted commas around all of the words spoken. Sometimes we can split the speech into two parts. Let's take a look. "Let's go," said Tom, "or we will miss the bus." The actual speech goes inside the inverted commas, so we need inverted commas around "let's go" and "or we will miss the bus." We also need a comma after "let's go" to separate the speech from the reported clause, said Tom. The speech then continues after the reported clause, so we have a comma after Tom, and then we open our inverted commas for the second set of speech. We then have a full stop at the end of the sentence and close our inverted commas after the word bus, where the speech ends. In this sentence, the boy said, "I'm very tired after the long walk." You will notice that the punctuation is missing. Pause the video and have a think for yourself about where the missing inverted commas and punctuation should go. Let's take a look. After the reported clause, the boy said, we need a comma to separate the reported clause from the speech. The speech is, "I'm very tired after the long walk," so this needs to go inside inverted commas. We also need to remember to put a full stop at the end of the sentence before we close the inverted commas. Here is another sentence. "I've had enough," shouted Mum. "I'm tired of your bedroom being a mess." You will see that this sentence has the punctuation missing. Why not pause the video and have a think for yourself about where the punctuation should go? Let's take a look. Mum is talking and she starts off by saying, "I've had enough," so this needs to go in inverted commas. Mum is showing strong emotion, so we need an exclamation mark before we close the inverted commas. We need a full stop after the reported clause, shouted Mum, as this is the end of the first sentence. The speech then continues. "I'm tired of your bedroom being a mess," so this speech also goes inside inverted commas, and we put a full stop at the end of the sentence before we close the inverted commas. Here is a summary of the learning. Inverted commas are a type of punctuation mark that go around speech. We need to include additional punctuation to make the sentence correct, and we include a reported clause to show the reader who is speaking.